Listen to me. Too many of you are sitting on your gifts, sitting on your dream, because you're waiting for somebody to clap for you. You're waiting for somebody to tell you it's okay. You're waiting for your mom, your dad, your teacher, your boss, your friends to say, yeah, go ahead. You can do it. But let me tell you something. If you keep waiting for their approval, you're going to waste your whole life. You don't need them to agree with you. You don't need them to understand your vision. It's your vision, not theirs. Stop waiting for people to give you permission to be great. Now, stop waiting for people to validate what God already put inside of you. Nobody can approve what they didn't create. Some of you got $1 million ideas, but you're acting on them like 10-cent dreams because you're worried about what other people think. Hear me. People will always doubt what they don't understand. People will always criticize what they can't control. But you can't let their opinions hold you hostage. You've got to approve yourself. You've got to look in the mirror and say, I'm enough, I'm capable, I'm chosen. Then you got to execute like your life depends on it, because it does. Don't die with your dreams still in you. Don't die waiting for a round of applause that may never come. Stop waiting for approval and start moving in purpose. The world doesn't need your excuses, it needs your gift. So I dare you today, not tomorrow, approve yourself. Give yourself permission to start. Give yourself permission to fail and get back up. Give yourself permission to succeed. Because when you stop waiting for approval, that's when you finally start living. Too many of you are sitting on the sideline, holding back, playing small, because you're waiting for somebody to clap for you. You're waiting for the world to recognize you, to cheer you on, and to say, yes, you're doing the right thing. Yes, go ahead. Yes, we believe in you. But what if that applause never comes? What if nobody ever claps for you? What if your family doesn't get it? Your friends don't support it? Your boss doesn't see it? Are you just going to sit there with all that potential locked up inside you, waiting for somebody else to validate your dream? That's the problem. Too many of you are holding back on your purpose because you're looking for permission slips. You think you need a standing ovation before you start. But let me break it down for you. Your vision doesn't need their applause. When I started out, nobody was clapping. Nobody was cheering me on. I didn't have thousands of followers. I didn't have people lining up to hear me speak. I had to get up in the morning when nobody cared. And I had to study, grind, put in hours when nobody was watching. And I didn't do it because somebody told me, Eric, you're amazing. You're amazing. I did it because I believed in the vision inside me. You've got to stop waiting for people to clap, because most of the time they're not going to. People clap when the game is over, when you already scored, when you already won. But while you're in the grind, while you're in the struggle, don't expect the audience to roar. That's your job. You've got to create the noise yourself. You keep looking for likes, for comments, for applause, for recognition. And every time you don't get it, you shrink back. Every time you don't hear the clapping, you question yourself. But let me tell you something. Greatness isn't built on applause. It's built in silence. It's built in silence. It's built in the dark. It's built when you're working, when nobody is paying attention, when nobody cares. That's where character is forged. That's where resilience is developed. That's where discipline is born. The applause will come later, but you can't depend on it. If you're waiting for people to cheer before you move, you'll never move. Some of you are scared to take the first step because you don't want people laughing at you. You don't want people doubting you. You don't want people saying, who do you think you are? And because of that, you're stuck. But I'm telling you right now, the world doesn't need more people sitting around waiting for permission. The world needs movers. The world needs movers. The world needs action takers. The world needs people who are willing to look crazy for a season, who are willing to grind in obscurity, who are willing to believe when nobody else does. Stop thinking that applause equals value. Stop thinking that clapping equals worth. You are valuable because of what's inside you, not because of how loud people cheer. You are worthy because of the gift you carry, not because somebody else recognizes it. Don't you understand? Don't you understand? If your vision came from inside you, approval of the crowd. They weren't in the room when you were dreaming. They weren't in your heart when you felt that calling. They don't have to get it because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. Let me be real with you. People will clap for you once they see results. They'll clap when you're already successful. They'll clap when it's safe, when it's obvious, when it costs them nothing. But when you're in the beginning, when you're still building, when you're still struggling in silence, that's what you'll get. Maybe even criticism, maybe even doubt, maybe even laughter. But that's where you gotta be strong enough to keep going without the applause. That's where you gotta be tough enough to approve yourself. I remember grinding day after day, night after night, talking to empty rooms, preaching to people who weren't paying attention, posting videos when nobody was watching. And I kept going, not because somebody clapped, but because I refused to let my dream die. You gotta do the same. You gotta clap for yourself. You've got to celebrate your small wins. You got to believe in your vision so deeply that whether the world claps or not, you keep moving forward. Some of you, you got dreams bigger than your environment. You got goals that scare even you. But instead of running after them, you wait for your circle to cheer you on. And when they don't, you shrink. But don't you realize? Sometimes they're silent not because you're wrong, but because your dream exposes their fear. Sometimes they're not clapping because your boldness reminds them of their hesitation. Sometimes they're not cheering because if you succeed, they'll have no excuse for staying small. You gotta break free from needing the applause of people who don't even understand your journey. You've gotta stop letting their silence paralyze you. You've gotta start moving like the applause is already there. Move like the crowd is already cheering. Move like the victory is already won. Because if you keep waiting for somebody to clap before you make a move, you'll look up years from now and realize you wasted your shot. Think about it. Every legend, every world changer, every icon you admire, they didn't start with applause. They started with rejection. They started with doubt. They started with people laughing at them. But they kept going. They kept grinding. They kept believing when nobody else did. And that's why you know their name today. They didn't wait for the clap. They worked for the crown. They didn't need the applause. They needed the vision. And they trusted it enough to act. So I'm asking you today, what are you waiting for? Are you really going to let your whole life pass you by because nobody clapped for you yet? Are you really going to bear your talent, your gift, your purpose just because people don't see it? Or are you going to rise up, look yourself in the mirror and decide that your vision doesn't need their applause? Stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop putting your destiny on hold until the world decides to cheer. Approve yourself. Clap for yourself. Clap for yourself. And keep moving forward with or without the applause. Because the truth is, once you finally arrive, once you finally break through, once you finally succeed, the same people who were silent, the same people who doubted, the same people who refused to clap, they'll be the loudest ones in the room. But by then, you won't even need it because you'll already know what I'm telling you right now. Your vision never needed their applause. Your dream is yours, not theirs. It was planted inside of you, not them. And because of that, you gotta stop waiting for people to understand something that wasn't given to them in the first place. Too many of you are trying to explain, trying to convince, trying to get approval from people who will never understand your vision. And you're wasting energy that should be going into building it. Stop expecting them to get it. They don't have to. You keep telling your friends about your idea, your goal, your business plan, your music, your book, your project, and they look at you like you're crazy. They laugh, they roll their eyes, they say, that'll never work. And you get discouraged, like maybe they're right. But hear me. Just because they don't see it doesn't mean it's not real. Just because they don't understand doesn't mean it's not possible. They don't have to see it because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. When I started chasing my dream, I couldn't expect my friends, my family, my circle to understand. They didn't see what I saw. They didn't feel what I felt. They didn't have the late night fire burning inside their chest like I did. And I had to learn the hard way. Stop wasting time trying to get people to cuss in your dream. Your dream doesn't need their signature. It already has yours. That's enough. Some of you are killing your dream slowly by waiting for everybody else to buy into it. You think your parents have to understand, your partner has to support, your friends have to get on board, your coworkers have to encourage you, and when they don't, you pause. You sit still, you wait, but waiting for them is costing you time you don't have. They don't have to understand. And the truth is, some of them never will. And that's okay. Stop trying to get validation from people who weren't meant to carry what you're carrying. Think about Noah building the ark. People thought he was crazy. They laughed, they mocked, they didn't understand. But Noah didn't need their understanding because he wasn't building their ark. He was building his. Some of you need to realize that you're building something that wasn't assigned to them, and you're delaying it because you want them to get it. You keep building anyway. It's yours. That dream, that idea, that vision, that fire in your soul, it belongs to you. That's why they don't feel it like you do. That's why they can't see it like you can. And that's why you can't wait on them to move. They don't have to believe in it, but you do. They don't have to work on it, but you do. They don't have to lose sleep over it, but you do. It's your dream. If you don't protect it, if you don't nurture it, if you don't chase it, nobody else will. Some of you are frustrated because you're trying to explain your vision to small-minded people. You're trying to explain a skyscraper to somebody who's only ever seen a hut. You're trying to describe flying to someone who's never left the ground. Of course, they don't get it. They're not supposed to. Stop lowering your dream to make it understandable to them. Stop shrinking your vision so it fits into their comfort zone. Your dream wasn't meant to be small enough for everybody to understand. It was meant to stretch you, to challenge you, to scare you. You gotta stop being addicted to understanding. Stop needing everybody to nod their head before you take action. Sometimes you gotta move forward with confusion all around you. Sometimes you gotta keep pushing while everybody else is shaking their head. That's what separates dreamers from doers. That's what separates the average from the great. The average waits for the crowd to understand. The great keep going even when the crowd thinks they're crazy. Think about the inventors, the pioneers, the innovators. People thought they were insane. They said of flying machines, impossible. Electric light bulbs, impossible. Talking across wire, impossible. They didn't understand. But guess what? Somebody didn't wait for their understanding. Somebody kept building. Somebody kept experimenting. Somebody kept believing. And because they did, the world changed. If they had waited for the world to understand, we'd still be in the dark. You gotta be willing to be misunderstood for a season. You gotta be willing to walk alone if that's what it takes. You gotta be willing to endure the silence, the doubt, the side eyes, the whispers. Because when it's all said and done, it's your dream that's gonna change your life, not their opinion. You don't need a crowd of people who understand. You need faith. You don't need their permission. You need courage. I need you to hear me clearly. Your dream is not a community project. Doesn't need a board of directors. It doesn't need a committee vote. It doesn't need everybody to sign off on it. It needs you, your sweat, your grind, your persistence, your fight. You keep trying to drag everybody into your dream, but they don't have the energy because it wasn't given to them. Stop draining yourself trying to make them care. Use that energy to build. Some of you are secretly waiting for somebody else to caution so you can finally feel like your dream is valid. But it's valid because it exists inside you. That fire you feel, that's proof. That passion you can't shake, that's proof. That vision you can't stop seeing, that's proof. You don't need them to understand. You just need to act. Stop explaining. Stop oversharing. Stop waiting. Some dreams can't be explained anyway. They have to be lived. People won't understand until it's finished. People won't understand until they see the results. And by then it won't matter whether they understand because you'll already be walking in it. It's time for you to own it. Stop trying to make them see it. Stop trying to make them clap. Stop trying to make them approve. They don't have to understand it because it's not theirs. It's not theirs. It's yours. And as long as you keep waiting for their understanding, you're putting your dream on hold. Move forward without the applause. Build without the approval. Dream without their understanding. Because at the end of the day, your dream is yours, not theirs. And that's exactly how it's supposed to be. People can't approve what they didn't create. That dream inside you, that vision, that fire, it didn't come from them. So stop waiting for them to stamp it. Stop waiting for them to say yes. Stop waiting for them to validate something that wasn't placed in their heart. Too many of you are holding back because you're waiting for the wrong people to approve something they didn't design. They can't approve it because it doesn't belong to them. You've got to understand when a manufacturer creates a product, only the manufacturer can give the warranty. Only the manufacturer can give the guarantee. Why? Because they built it, they designed it, they know what's inside it. In the same way your dream was manufactured in you, that means only the creator, the one who put it in you, has the right to validate it. Your friends can't give you that warranty. Your parents can't give you that guarantee. Your boss, your coworkers, your circle, your critics, they can't approve it because they didn't create it. But you're wasting so much time looking for permission slips. You're asking people to call sing. You're waiting for them to nod their head. You're hoping they'll cheer you on. But they can't because they don't even see what you see. They don't even feel what you feel. They don't even carry what you carry. It's not in them. So how could they possibly approve it? They don't even have the blueprint. It's like, you can't expect them to sign off on it. Some of you got a dream to start a business, to launch a movement, to create something new, to step into uncharted waters. And you're holding back because the people around you don't get it. They're telling you it's risky, it's unrealistic, it's impossible. And you're letting that lack of approval stop you. But I'm telling you right now, they can't approve it. It wasn't given to them. They don't have the authority. Stop giving them power they don't have. Think about it. If you go to the wrong office with your paperwork, they'll look at you crazy. They'll say, sorry, we can't process this. This isn't our department. That's what happens when you keep bringing your dream to people who weren't assigned to it. You're in the wrong office. You're asking them to stamp papers that don't belong on their desk. And then you get discouraged when they send you away. But it's not because your dream is invalid. It's because you went to the wrong people. Stop making the mistake of thinking other people hold the key. No, the key was given to you. You got to learn to move without the stamp. No, you've got to learn to build without the approval. You've got to learn to trust the manufacturer, not the crowd. Because the truth is, the crowd will never understand something they didn't design. I remember when I was grinding, trying to get this thing off the ground, people didn't approve. They didn't see the point. They didn't see the value. They looked at me like, what are you doing? You'll never make a living doing that. And if I had waited for their approval, you wouldn't even know my name today. If I had waited for them to stamp it, I would have quit before to stamp it. I would have quit before I ever started. But I realized they couldn't approve what they didn't create. They didn't put the fire inside me. They didn't give me the voice. They didn't give me the passion. So why in the world would I wait for them to say yes? Some of you are living half live because you're stuck in this cycle of asking for permission. You've got the gift, you've got the talent, you've got the idea, but you're waiting for somebody to clap, to nod, to give you the green light. And because they don't, you're paralyzed. But you've got to stop looking outside for approval and start looking inside. The fact that it burns inside you is proof enough. The fact that you can't shake it is proof enough. The fact that it won't leave you alone, even when you try to run from it, is proof enough. You don't need that stamp. Think about it. Some of the greatest people who ever lived, they were rejected, they were doubted, they were laughed at. People didn't approve of their ideas, their inventions, their art, their calling. But that didn't stop them. Why? Why? Because they knew the people around them didn't create it, so their disapproval didn't matter. They understood that the only approval they needed came from the one who put it inside them and from their own willingness to pursue it. I need you to stop wasting your breath trying to convince people. You've been explaining and re-explaining, trying to get them to understand, trying to get them to support you, and every time they don't, you feel smaller. But listen to me, stop explaining. Stop trying to get approval from people who don't have the capacity to give it. It's not their job. It's not their job. It never was. Their lack of approval doesn't mean your dream is wrong. It just means you've been asking a wrong source. Your parents love you, but they didn't create your dream. Your friends ride with you, but they didn't plant that fire. Your boss pays you, but he didn't give you your purpose. Stop confusing roles. They can love you, they can care about you, they can even support you in some ways, but they don't have the authority to approve your destiny. Only the one who created it does. And you gotta get to the point where you stop being hungry for their stand and start being hungry for execution. You've gotta be more committed to the grind than to the applause. You've gotta be more committed to the vision than to the approval. Because when you finally step into your purpose, when you finally walk in your calling, The same people who didn't approve will be the ones calling you a genius. The same people who doubted will be the ones saying they knew you could do it. But none of that matters. What matters is that you didn't let their lack of approval stop you from moving. So stop waiting for a stamp you'll never get. Stop handing out authority to people who don't own your blueprint. Stop letting their silence, their criticism, their rejection determine whether or not you keep building. People can't approve what they didn't create. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll be free to finally chase what was always yours. Doubt and criticism are not signs that you're failing. They're not signs that you're crazy. They're not signs that you're on the wrong path. Doubt and criticism are proof that you're onto something powerful, proof that you're doing something that makes people uncomfortable. Proof that you're stepping into territory that most people are too scared to touch. If nobody is doubting you, if nobody is criticizing you, chances are you're not pushing hard enough. You're staying safe. You're staying average. You're staying in the box. The moment you decide to do something great, the moment you decide to step out, the moment you decide to chase something bigger than yourself, here comes the doubt. Here comes the criticism. We're not ready. You can't do that. Who do you think you are? Nobody's ever done that before. Be realistic. Sound familiar? That's the soundtrack of every dreamer. That's the echo that follows every person who dared to believe bigger. And instead of letting it discourage you, you got to learn to flip it. When you hear doubt, when you hear criticism, you've got to say, that means I'm on the right track. See, people don't criticize what doesn't matter. People don't waste their energy doubting something that's weak. They don't laugh at things that don't threaten them. They only criticize what makes them uncomfortable, what challenges the norm, what exposes their own fear. So when they doubt you, it's not really about you. It's about them. It's about their limitation, their insecurity, their lack of vision. They can't see what you see. They can't feel what you feel. And because they don't understand it, they attack it. But you can't let their lack of belief drown out your fire. I remember when I first started speaking, people didn't believe in me. They looked at me like, who's going to listen to this guy? Who's going to pay him to talk? Who's going to watch his videos? Doubt, criticism, rejection. And I couldn't let it crush me. I couldn't believe them, but instead I flipped it. I said, if they're doubting me this hard, that must mean there's something inside of me that scares them. That must mean I'm carrying something they don't understand. That must mean I'm on the right path. And I kept going. You got to develop that mindset. Every time somebody doubts you, take it as confirmation. Every time somebody criticizes you, take it as fuel. Don't shrink when you hear doubt. Expand. Don't quit when you face criticism. Push harder. Because if you keep going long enough, those same doubters will be the ones quoting you. Those same critics will be the ones clapping for you. But you'll never get their voices stop you. Some of you are stuck because you thought the criticism was a sign to quit. You thought the doubt was evidence you were wrong. No, it's evidence you're different. It's evidence you're rare. It's evidence you're walking the path. Most people are too afraid to walk. You've got to stop looking for an easy road. Greatness isn't easy. Success isn't comfortable. Impact isn't safe. If you're walking in your purpose, expect resistance, expect doubt, expect criticism. That's the price of admission. Think about it. Every great innovator, every world changer, every person you admire went through seasons of being doubted and criticized. When people laughed at the idea of flying, it didn't mean flying wasn't possible. It meant the Wright brothers were onto something that stretched people's imagination. When they mocked the idea of light bulbs, it didn't mean it was stupid. It meant Thomas Edison was building something the world wasn't ready for. When they rejected people who wanted to fight for justice, for equality, for freedom, it didn't mean those leaders were wrong. It meant they were challenging systems that didn't want to be changed. Doubt and criticism weren't signs of weakness. They were signs of power. You've got to rewire your thinking. Too many of you hear doubt and you crumble. Somebody criticizes your dream and you start second guessing yourself. But let me ask you, if your dream was small, would they even notice? If your vision was average, would they waste time doubting? Would they waste time doubting it? No. The fact that they're doubting you, the fact that they're criticizing you means you're stirring something up. You're shaking the room. You're disrupting the normal. And that's exactly what greatness does. Stop expecting applause in the beginning. In the early stages, you don't get cheers, you get doubt. You don't get standing ovations, you get criticism. That's how it works. The clapping comes later after you've already proven it. But in the grind, in the building, in the starting phase, expect the negativity, expect the side eyes, expect the whispers. And when you hear them, don't shrink, smile. Say to yourself, if they're doubting me this much, I must be carrying something powerful. I need you to start using doubt as your fuel. Start using criticism as your motivator. Some of the greatest speeches I ever gave, some of the greatest videos I ever posted were birthed from people telling me I couldn't do it. They said I wasn't cut out for it. They said I didn't have what it takes. And instead of crying, instead of quitting, I went harder. I said, watch me. And that's what you got to do. When people doubt you, when they criticize you, don't argue. Don't fight back. Don't waste your breath explaining. Just say, oh, watch me. And then put in the work. Some of you don't realize it yet. But the reason people doubt you is because they see something in you they don't see in themselves. Your courage exposes their fear. Your faith exposes their doubt. Your vision exposes their lack of imagination. Instead of admitting it, they project it onto you. They call you unrealistic. They call you crazy. They say you'll never make it. But deep down, they're scared because you represent what they could have been if they didn't give up. You represent what they could have achieved if they didn't play it safe. So, of course, they criticize you. You're a mirror showing them what they lost. But you can't let their fear become your prison. You can't let their doubt become your ceiling. You can't let their criticism kill your dream. The fact that they're talking, the fact that they're doubting, the fact that they're criticizing, that's not the end. That's the beginning. That's proof you're moving. That's proof you're building. That's proof you're building. That's proof you're carrying something powerful. And if you keep going, if you refuse to quit, their voices will fade and your results will speak louder than anything they ever said. So when you hear doubt, don't let it crush you. Let it confirm you. When you face criticism, don't let it stop you. Let it fuel you. Because the truth is, doubt and criticism are not signs of failure. They're signs of power. And if you've got people doubting you, if you've got people criticizing you, congratulations. You're onto something powerful. You're out here waiting for approval, and you don't even realize how much time you're wasting. Every day you sit still. Every day you second guess yourself. Every day you pause to ask somebody, what do you think? Should I do it? Am I good enough? You're delaying your own blessing. Let me tell you something right now. Approval seeking is one of the greatest killers of purpose. You were not born to sit around hoping that somebody else sees your worth. You were not born to put your dream on pause because somebody couldn't see the value in what you're carrying. Listen to me. When you live for approval, you hand over your freedom. You let people's opinions become your chains, and you can't run in chains. You can't soar when you're tied down. And the sad truth is, some of you have tied yourself down so tight, you don't even realize you're the one holding yourself hostage. Think about it. Every time you say, I'll start when my parents believe in me. I'll launch when my friends support me. I'll move when my boss says it's a good idea. You're delaying destiny. Destiny doesn't wait. Purpose doesn't wait. Opportunity doesn't sit around until you feel secure enough to act. No, life keeps moving. And every second you hesitate, every minute you hold back, you're losing ground. Somebody else out there is moving without approval. Somebody else is out there chasing the same dream you got in your heart. And because they didn't stop to ask permission, they're lapping you while you're still at the starting line. Approval seeking is like standing at a green light, waiting for the driver behind you to honk before you hit the gas. The light's been green. You're holding up traffic because you don't trust your own ability to move. The truth is, you're not really waiting for approval. You're hiding behind. You're afraid. You're scared of failing, scared of being judged, scared of stepping out of the comfort zone. And instead of admitting it, you cover it with, oh, well, I'm just waiting for the right moment. I'm waiting for my circle to get on board. No, you're waiting because you don't want the responsibility that comes with ownership. When you move without approval, you own your choices. You own the success, but you also own the failures. And most people don't want that. Most people will rather say, oh, well, I didn't do it because my dad didn't think it was smart. Or I didn't do it because my friend said it wouldn't work. That way, when it fails, you got someone to blame. But hear me clearly, blaming others won't free you. It won't give you peace. All it will do is rob you of the life you could have had if you just stepped out. When you live in constant need of approval, you silence your own voice. You start doubting your instincts. You start thinking your ideas don't matter until they've been stamped by somebody else. And here's the crazy part. Half the people you're waiting for approval from don't even know what they're doing with their own lives. You're putting your dream in the hands of people who haven't even figured out their own path. That's insanity. You're asking directions from people who are lost themselves. You're waiting for them to hand you a map when they don't even know where they're going. That's why your purpose keeps getting delayed. Because you keep giving control of your destiny to people who are never qualified to guide it. The longer you seek approval, the more your confidence erodes. You start shrinking. You start holding back your light. You start comparing yourself to everybody else. And what happens? You settle. You stop running after the dream with fire and you start walking in circles. You convince yourself maybe the dream was too big. Maybe you're not as talented as you thought. Maybe you should play it safe. No, playing it safe has never birthed greatness. Playing it safe has never changed lives. Playing it safe has never written history. The ones who changed the world, the ones who built empires, the ones whose names we remember, they weren't approval seekers. They didn't wait for the crowd to cheer before they moved. They went first. They risked looking crazy. They risked being alone. And because they did, the world eventually followed. You got to get to a place where you understand that needing approval is a trap. It's a silent prison. People won't always support you. People won't always cheer for you. Some people won't even acknowledge you until you've already made it. And by then, their approval won't matter. So why wait? Why keep begging for something that doesn't move you closer to your goal? The longer you wait, the more excuses you collect. And the more excuses you collect, the heavier your chains get. Eventually, you won't even remember what it feels like to move freely because you've been bound by opinions so long you think it's normal. But it's not normal. It's not okay to silence your gift because you're scared someone won't clap. It's not okay to bury your purpose because you're afraid somebody will criticize. Criticism is guaranteed. Doubt is guaranteed. Failure is guaranteed. But guess what? Growth is also guaranteed if you keep moving. Success is guaranteed if you refuse to quit. Fulfillment is guaranteed if you stop waiting for approval and start acting in faith. You've got to break free from this approval cycle. You've got to decide today that your dream is worth more than their opinion. You've got to wake up tomorrow and say, I'm moving whether they believe in me or not. I'm moving whether they clap or not. I'm moving because this is my life, my purpose, my time. And when you start moving like that, something powerful happens. You begin to build momentum. You begin to attract the right people. Not the ones who want to hold you back, but the ones who want to push you forward. But you'll never meet those people if you stay stuck waiting for the wrong ones to approve you. Stop telling yourself you can't move until you get a green light from others. The light has been green since the day you were born. You don't need anybody's permission to live. You don't need anybody's permission to shine. You don't need anybody's permission to become who you were designed to be. Every second you waste seeking approval is a second you could have been building, growing, impacting, inspiring. And at the end of your life, you don't want to look back with regret knowing you had the power all along, but gave it away because you were too busy waiting for a nod, a smile, a pat on the back. It's time to wake up. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to approve yourself. Because once you stop looking for others to validate your worth, you'll finally be free to run after your dream with everything you've got. And that's when your life will truly begin. You've been standing in the mirror waiting for someone else to tell you what you already know. You've been looking around for people to clap for you, to say, you got this, to validate your worth, and I'm here to tell you. It's time to stop. You don't need them. You don't need their nod, their stamp of approval, their pat on the back. What you need is to look at yourself in the mirror and finally believe that you are enough. You are capable. You are chosen. Because the truth is, until you approve of yourself, until you believe in yourself, it doesn't matter how many people cheer for you on the outside. None of it will stick. That's the trap most of you are in right now. You're waiting for external voices to fill the hole that only your own voice can fill. You're chasing compliments, likes, And recognition, hoping they'll silence the doubt you carry every morning when you wake up. But I'm telling you, it doesn't work. You can have 10 people clap for you. You can have 100 people cheer for you. You can have 1,000,000 people follow you. And if you don't believe it for yourself, it will never be enough. You'll keep running back to the same empty well, thirsty for approval, and they'll never satisfy you. Why? Because the power isn't out there. The power is in here in you. The world doesn't get to define your value. Your past doesn't get to define your value. People's opinions don't get to define your value. You define it every single day when you choose how you see yourself, when you choose how you show up, when you choose whether to play small or to step into greatness. Too many of you keep asking for a vote of confidence from people who don't even know how to see greatness in themselves, be greatness in themselves. How can they approve you when they don't even approve of their own lives? How can they validate your vision when they can't even see their own? You've been sitting around waiting for somebody to tell you, it's your time. Stop waiting. It's already your time. Every day you breathe, every day you wake up, that's your permission slip. That's your approval. You don't need another one. You've got to decide that you're not going to spend another second apologizing for being who you are, apologizing for dreaming big, apologizing for wanting more. Stop dimming your light so other people feel comfortable in their shadows. Stop shrinking so you don't offend people who gave up on themselves. If they want to stay in the dark, that's their choice. But you were built to shine. You were built to stand tall. You were built to live a life that inspires. When you start approving yourself, everything changes. Your energy shifts, your confidence grows, your decisions get bolder. You stop asking, what if I fail? And you start asking, what if I succeed? You stop hesitating and you start moving. You stop looking back at all the times people doubted you, and you start looking forward to the opportunities in front of you. And let me tell you, when you carry yourself with that kind of confidence, when you approve of yourself with that kind of authority, people notice. The same people who ignored you will start paying attention. The same people who doubted you will start asking you how you did it. But by then, their approval won't matter. You'll already know who you are. Some of you have been dragging around chains for years, chains made out of other people's opinions. You've let their words define your worth. You've let their silence make you feel invisible. You've let their doubt convince you that you're not enough. But hear me, those chains only stay on as long as you agree to wear them. The moment you decide to approve of yourself, the moment you decide that their opinions don't hold the final word, those chains break, and the freedom that comes from that, nothing can touch it. Because once you know who you are, once you approve yourself, nobody can take that away. You've got to stop telling yourself the lie that you're not ready. You've got to stop telling yourself you don't have what it takes. You've got to stop telling yourself you'll never measure up. Because every time you repeat those lies, you bury your own potential. You silence your own voice. You put your own fire out. And the world doesn't need more silence. The world doesn't need more people playing small. The world needs your gift. The world needs your fire. The world needs your voice. But it won't hear any of it if you keep waiting for applause before you speak. You've been living too long in a cycle of comparison. You keep scrolling through your phone, looking at what everybody else is doing, measuring your worth against their highlight reel. And every time you do it, you tear yourself down a little more. Stop comparing. Stop waiting for likes, for shares, for follows to tell you you're valuable. That number on the screen doesn't define you. It doesn't validate you. You were valuable the moment you were born. You were enough before you posted a single thing. You were worthy before anybody clicked a like. Approve of yourself, and you won't need the numbers to approve you anymore. And listen, I know it's not easy. I know it's hard to look at yourself in the mirror and love what you see when you've been trained for years to look for flaws. I know it's hard to approve yourself when people have spent your whole life criticizing, doubting, and rejecting you. But let me ask you this. If you don't approve of yourself, who will? If you don't fight for your own value, who's gonna do it? Nobody's coming to rescue you. Nobody's coming to crown you. Nobody's coming to hand you your worth. That's on you. You gotta wake up every day and crown yourself. You've gotta wake up every day and approve yourself. You've gotta wake up every day and declare, I am enough. I am capable. I'm powerful. And I don't need anybody else to agree with me before I start moving. When you approve of yourself, failure doesn't scare you anymore because you know failure doesn't change your value. You know failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. It just means you're learning. It just means you're learning. It just means you're growing. It just means you're alive. And once you get that, once you approve yourself enough to keep moving even after you fall, there's nothing that can stop you. Because the world can't stop somebody who refuses to quit. The world can't stop somebody who doesn't wait for approval. Approval. The world can't stop somebody who already knows their worth. So stop waiting. Stop begging for approval. Stop handing over your power. Look in the mirror right now and decide. Decide that you are enough. Decide that you are chosen. Decide that you are chosen. Decide that you are capable. And then live like it. Work like it. Speak like it. Move like it. Because the second you approve of yourself, you'll stop living small and you'll finally start living free. You've been standing in front of the mirror for too long, waiting on a voice from outside to tell you what you already know inside. You're waiting for your parents to say, I'm proud of you. You're waiting for your boss to say, we're good enough. You're waiting for your friends to say, go for it. We believe in you. And because you're waiting, your whole life is on pause. You're standing still when you should be moving. You're sitting quiet when you should be speaking. You're holding back when you should be giving everything you got. And here's the truth you gotta face. Nobody else's approval will ever be enough if you don't approve of yourself first. You keep chasing after applause like it's oxygen, but every time you get it, it fades. Somebody cheers for you today and you feel alive. Tomorrow, nobody says a word, and suddenly you're doubting yourself again. That's because you're building your identity on a foundation that isn't stable. Approval is shaky. People are inconsistent. One day they'll love you. The next day they'll hate you. And if you let that determine how you feel about yourself, you'll always be on a roller coaster. You'll never find peace. You'll never find stability. Because the truth is, until you approve of yourself, the world's opinion won't matter. Some of you are holding back your gift because you're waiting for somebody to validate it. You've got dreams, but you won't chase them until someone else says they're possible. You've got talents, but you're burying them because nobody has clapped for you yet. You've got visions, but you've locked them away because you're scared people won't understand. Let me tell you something. It's not their vision. It's not their dream. It's not their gift. It's yours. They don't have to understand it and they don't have to approve it. Stop waiting for a green light that's never coming. The light has been green since the day you were born. And I know what some of you are thinking. You're saying, but Eric, it's hard. Eric, it's hard. My whole life, people have doubted me. My whole life, people have criticized me. My whole life, I've been told I'm not good enough. They're not good enough. And I get it. I know it hurts when the people you love don't support you. I know it cuts deep when the people closest to you don't believe in you. But let me ask you this. How long are you going to let their voices control your life? How long are you going to let their doubt become your truth? How long are you going to let their lack of belief stop you from living the life you were called to live? You got to get to a point where you look in the mirror and say, I'm enough. Not because somebody else told you, not because somebody else approved you, but because you believe it, because you've decided it, because you know deep down inside that you were created with purpose, with potential, with power. And the moment you start believing that, the moment you approve of yourself, you stop being prisoner to people's opinions. You stop letting their silence break you. You stop letting their criticism crush you. You stop letting their rejection define you. When you approve of yourself, you take back your power. You stop asking for permission to shine. You stop waiting for someone to crown you, and you crown yourself. You wake up every morning and say, I belong here. I have something to give. I have something to build. You've got ideas that could change your entire life. You've got creativity, vision, and dreams that are worth more than gold, but you're treating them like they're nothing. You're walking around with $1 million ideas in your mind, but you're moving like you're broke in your spirit. You've convinced yourself that unless someone approves, unless someone validates you, unless someone says, yeah, you can, your ideas aren't worth pursuing. And that's why you're stuck. That's why you're frustrated. That's why you feel like you're not moving forward. Because you got these big, powerful ideas, but you're executing them like they're small. You're watering down your own greatness. You keep telling yourself, one day I'll do it. One day I'll launch it. One day I'll start that business, write that book, record that song. But you're not waiting for the right time. You're waiting for the right approval. You're waiting for someone else to co-sign on your dream before you move. That's why your $1,000,000 ideas keep turning into 10-cent actions. You're moving like your dream is fragile when in reality it's the most solid thing you've got. You're treating your vision like it's optional when it's supposed to be mandatory. And deep down, you know it. Deep down, you feel the frustration. You know you're built for more, but you're stuck playing small because you're worried about who's going to clap for you. Let me tell you something. Nobody is going to hand you approval for free. Nobody is going to walk up to you and say, here's the validation you've been waiting for. Now go change the world. It doesn't work like that. The world rewards waiting. The world rewards action. It rewards courage. It rewards the ones who move, even when they don't have permission, even when they don't have applause, even when they don't have support. You think Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Oprah, or any of the greats sat around waiting for approval? No, they moved without it. They believed in themselves so deeply that they didn't care if people thought they were crazy. They didn't care if people laughed. They didn't care if people doubted. They went after it anyway. And that's the difference between you sitting here with your $1,000,000 idea collecting dust and somebody else building theirs into an empire. Right now, you're holding yourself hostage with fear. You're scared of failing. You're scared of being judged. You're scared that people will look at you and say, who does he think he is? Who does she think she is? But let me ask you this. Aren't you more scared of wasting your life? Aren't you more scared of waking up 10, 20, 30 years from now, looking back and realizing you never even tried? Aren't you more scared of carrying your gift to the grave because you let people's opinions keep you from ever unwrapping it? Fear of failure is temporary. Fear of regret lasts forever. And I'd rather you fail 1,000 times trying than live with regret once for never even starting. Some of you are trying to get everybody on board before you make a move. You want your family's blessing, your friends' support, your coworkers' approval, and until you get it, you stay still. But hear me, the more time you waste waiting for everybody to get on board, the more momentum you lose. Your dream doesn't need a committee to vote it into existence. Your gift doesn't need an audience before it can shine. It just needs you. It needs you to trust it, to believe in it, to work on it, to execute it. And the crazy part, once you move, once you start acting on it, once you stop waiting for approval, people will eventually see. The same people who doubted you will come around. The same people who ignored you will want to be part of it. But you got to go first. You got to move before they clap. You got to move before they clap. You're telling yourself your idea isn't ready. You're telling yourself you don't have enough experience. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough connection. But the truth is, you don't need more resources. You need more belief. Because people with less than you have done more than you. People with fewer opportunities, fewer connections, and less support have turned their ideas into movements because they refuse to wait. They refuse to sit back and beg for approval. They gave themselves permission to start. And because they started, they figured out the rest along the way. Execution beats approval every single time. Stop asking, what if it doesn't work? And start asking, what if it does? What if this idea is the one that changes everything for you? What if this idea is the one that pulls your family out of struggle? What if this idea is the one that creates opportunities, opens doors, and builds legacy? But you'll never know if you keep waiting. You'll never know if you keep playing small. You'll never know if you keep looking over your shoulder, waiting for someone else to nod before you move forward. Listen, people are always going to have opinions. People are always going to criticize what they don't understand. People are always going to question what they can't see. But you can't let their limited vision blind you to your unlimited potential. People can only see from where they stand. And if their perspective is small, they'll always try to shrink your dream. That doesn't mean your dream is too big. It just means their vision is too small. Stop shrinking your idea to fit into their box. Stop watering down your greatness to make other people comfortable. Stop waiting for approval from people who don't even see the bigger picture. Every second you spend waiting for approval is a second you could have spent building. Every minute you waste hesitating is a minute you could have spent executing. Every day you delay is a day further from your destiny. And at some point, you've got to get tired of watching your life pass you by while your dreams sit untouched. At some point, you got to get tired of settling for less than what you know you're capable of. At some point, you've got to say, enough is enough. I'm done waiting. I'm done playing small. I'm done letting approval keep me in chains. Give yourself permission today. Give yourself permission to try. Give yourself permission to fail. Give yourself permission to get back up again. Give yourself permission to succeed. Because the truth is, nobody else can give it to you. Nobody else can hand you approval that lasts. Only you can. And once you do, once you finally approve of yourself, you'll stop moving like your dream is fragile. You'll stop executing like your ideas don't matter. You'll start moving with power, with confidence, with authority. When you do that, the world won't be able to ignore you, so stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop asking for permission to live the life you were born to live. Your $1 million ideas deserve $1 million execution, not 10-cent hesitation. You've been carrying greatness inside of you long enough. It's time to let it out. It's time to stop waiting for approval and start building. It's time to stop playing small and start acting like you believe in the dream you've been given. Because once you do, once you stop waiting for the world to validate you, you'll finally step into the life you were meant to live. Some of you are living your whole life waiting for somebody to come and stamp your dream with approval before you move. You're waiting for your family to clap. You're waiting for your friends to validate you. You're waiting for somebody in authority to say, yes, you can do it. And in the process of waiting for that approval, years are passing you by. Opportunities are slipping away, and the fire inside of you is slowly dying. You think that without that approval, without somebody's permission, you can't move forward. But let me tell you something. Approval seeking is killing your destiny. Every day you hesitate, every day you wait for that applause, every day you look to someone else for validation, you're losing ground on the life you were supposed to be living. You have to understand that approval seeking is rooted in fear. You're afraid of what people will think. You're afraid of being criticized. You're afraid of rejection. You're afraid of failing in front of others. And so instead of moving boldly into your purpose, you freeze. Instead of taking action, you procrastinate. Instead of building the life you were created for, you build a life around pleasing people. Approval seeking makes you live a watered down version of yourself, a smaller version of who you could be. It chains you to the opinions of people who don't even carry the vision you've been given. Think about it. How many dreams have been buried because somebody was waiting for approval? How many books were never written, businesses never launched, songs never sung, because the person behind them was too busy wondering, well, what will they say about me? Approval seeking steals more dreams than failure ever could. Failure at least teaches you something, but approval seeking, that doesn't teach you anything. It just keeps you stuck, paralyzed, stagnant. You end up living a life full of what ifs instead of a life full of I did it. The truth is, people will always have something to say. If you do it, they'll talk. If you don't do it, they'll talk. If you succeed, they'll find reasons to criticize. If you fail, they'll laugh. Either way, somebody's mouth is going to be running. So why let their words control your destiny? Why let the fear of their disapproval rob you of your future? If you're waiting for everyone to approve, you'll be waiting forever, because not everyone is going to clap. Not everyone's going to believe in you. Not everyone is going to understand your journey. And that's okay, because they don't have to. Let me remind you, your vision was given to you, not to them. Your dream was placed in your heart, not in theirs. People can't approve what they didn't create. The only approval you need is the one you give yourself. The only validation that matters is the voice inside of you that says, I was made for this. I was built for this. I will not let fear stop me. Approval seeking keeps you looking outward, but real freedom comes when you look inward and say, I'm enough. Approval seeking is also a distraction. While you're busy trying to win people over, you're not putting in the work. While you're waiting for them to give you the green light, your dream is collecting dust. The energy you waste worrying about who approves is energy you should be using to build, to grow, to execute. Some of you are exhausted, not because you're doing the work, but because you're carrying the weight of everyone's opinions. You're drained from chasing their approval. And in the process, you've got no strength left for your own dream. That's why you have to let go. That's why you have to stop seeking validation from people who aren't even walking your path. You know what else approval seeking does. It makes you ordinary. It makes you blend in. Because if your goal is always to get approval, then you'll never take the risks that make you stand out. You'll never challenge the status quo. You'll never break the mold. You'll never be extraordinary. Because extraordinary always comes with criticism. Extraordinary always comes with disapproval. Extraordinary always makes people uncomfortable. If you're living for approval, you'll always choose safe. You'll always choose easy. You'll always choose small. But safe and easy never change the world. Small never fulfill the big purpose. So what do? You stop chasing applause and you start chasing purpose. You stop worrying about approval and you start worrying about execution. You shift your energy from what will they think to what am I becoming? When you free yourself from the need to be approved, you open yourself up to freedom. You start creating, you start building, you start moving forward. Not because people agree with you, but because you know this is what you were born to do. And here's the truth. People respect results. The same people who won't approve of you now will clap when they see the fruit of your labor. The same people who doubt you now will want to be connected to you when you succeed. But you can't live for that. You can't make their applause your motivation, because then you'll always be at their mercy. No, you move whether they clap or not. You grind whether they believe in you or not. You show up for your dream whether they approve or not. That's how you win. Approval seeking also robs you of authenticity. It makes you live someone else's life, someone else's standard, someone else's idea of success. You end up chasing what looks good to them instead of chasing what feels right to you. You lose your voice, your uniqueness, your authenticity, all in an effort to be accepted. But the world doesn't need another copy. It needs the real you. It needs your raw gift, your real story, your authentic power. And you can't bring that if you're busy trying to be liked. The irony of approval seeking is this: even when you get it, it doesn't last. You get their approval today, but tomorrow they moved on to someone else. You get their applause in one moment, but in the next they're criticizing you again. That's why you can't build your foundation on approval. It's shaky, it's unstable, it's inconsistent. You have to build on something stronger. Your purpose, your belief, your self-approval. That's the foundation that lasts. So I'm telling you right now, stop letting approval seeking steal your destiny. Stop letting it keep you small. Stop letting it delay your dreams. People will talk, people will doubt, people will criticize. Let them. That's not your concern. Your concern is to move forward. Your concern is to grow, to execute, to live the life you were created for. Stop waiting for approval and give yourself permission to be great. The day you stop chasing their validation is the day you start living your true life. Some of you are sitting on gifts that the world desperately needs, but nobody will ever see them. Nobody will ever experience them because you're too worried about what people think. You're holding back because you don't want to be judged. You're shrinking because you don't want to be criticized. You're toning yourself down because you're afraid of rejection. But let me make it plain. Your gift is not about you. Your gift was given to you so you could serve. Your gift was placed in you to impact lives, to make a difference, to transform the world around you. And when you let the opinions of people bury your potential, you're robbing the world of something only you can offer. You're not just denying yourself. You're denying the people who need what you carry. Listen, the world doesn't need another copy. The world doesn't need another imitation. The world doesn't need you to look like everybody else, sound like everybody else, live like everybody else. The world needs your gift, raw, unpolished, authentic, unapologetic. And if you keep waiting for everyone to approve, if you keep silencing your voice, if you keep pushing your dreams to the back burner, we will never get to see the greatness inside of you. You can't let people's opinions have that much power. You can't let fear of rejection bury what you were born to bring. Think about this. There are people right now struggling, searching, hurting, waiting for the exact thing you have inside of you. They're waiting for your words, your ideas, your innovation, your solution. And here you are, paralyzed, hiding, playing small, because you don't want somebody to laugh at you. Do you see how dangerous that is? Do you see how selfish that is? By protecting yourself from judgment, you're withholding a gift that could change someone else's life. By trying to avoid rejection, you're rejecting the very purpose you were created for. And let's be real, no matter what you do, somebody will always have an opinion. Somebody will always find fault. Somebody will always say you're not enough, you're too much, you're doing it wrong. But their opinions don't change your assignment. Their words don't cancel your gift. You were chosen for this. You were created for this. And the sooner you stop letting their voices silence you, the sooner you'll start living in your true power. Look, the graveyard is full of potential. It's full of unwritten books, unsung songs, undiscovered inventions, unused ideas. It's full of people who took their gifts to the grave because they were too afraid to put them out in the world. Don't let that be your story. Don't let fear of opinions bury your gift. Don't let criticism keep you quiet. Don't let rejection convince you to quit before you even start. You don't have time to waste. Life is short, and every day you hide your gift is a day the world goes without it. Your gift is not meant to be perfect. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Stop waiting until you feel polished. Stop waiting until you think everyone will accept it. That day will never come. Your gift becomes stronger when you use it. Your voice becomes clearer when you speak. Your dream becomes real when you take action. The people who criticize you aren't the ones building, they're just watching. Don't let watchers stop you from being a doer. Don't let their comments weigh more than your calling. You've got to develop a new mindset. Instead of asking, what would they think of me? Ask them, what will happen if I don't do this? Instead of saying, what if they don't approve? Say, or what if my gift helps someone break free? Yay! When you stop centering people's opinions and you start centering your purpose, everything changes. You stop needing permission. You stop hesitating. You stop living small. You realize that people's opinions don't pay your bills. Their approval doesn't build your dream. Their validation doesn't fulfill your soul, but your gift does. And don't think small when I say gift. I'm not just talking about talents like singing or writing. Your gift could be the way you solve problems, the way you inspire people, the way you lead, the way you care for others, the way you see opportunities nobody else sees. That thing you do naturally, that thing that lights you up, that thing that sets you apart, that's your gift, and it's needed. Don't bury it. Don't hide it. Don't sit on because you're afraid of what people will say. Every time you silence your gift, you silence somebody's breakthrough. Every time you hide, somebody else stays stuck. Every time you water yourself down, somebody else misses out on the chance to rise higher. Your gift isn't just about you. It's about the lives connected to you. You might never meet them. You might never see their faces, but they are out there waiting for the courage you're still holding back. The world doesn't need your excuses. It doesn't need your fear. It doesn't need your approval seeking. It needs your gift. It needs you to step up. It needs you to stop worrying about being perfect and start being present. It needs you to stop hiding and start shining. Your gift was designed to serve, and service doesn't wait for permission. Service shows up, gives. Service risks being misunderstood. Service risks being rejected, but service never stays silent. I need you to make a decision today. Are you going to let people's opinions bury your purpose, or are you going to rise above them and let your gift speak for itself? Are you going to stay silent, or are you going to be bold? Are you going to hide, or are you going to hide, or are you going to shine? Because the truth is, the world can't afford for you to play small anymore. There are too many people who need what you have. Too many people waiting on your courage. Too many people depending on your obedience to your calling. Stop letting people who don't matter keep you from the mission that does. Stop giving more weight to their opinions than to your purpose. Stop living for likes and start living for legacy. People will come and go, opinions will change, applause will fade, but your gift will remain. And if you don't use it, it will be wasted. Don't let that happen. Don't die full. Don't die with your music still inside you, with your dreams still locked away, with your gift still hid. Step out, speak up, create. build, serve, fail if you have to, but fail forward. Get criticized if you have to, but keep going. Be misunderstood, be doubted, be rejected, but don't be silenced. The world needs your gift. And the only way it can shine is if you stop letting opinions bury your potential and start living boldly in your purpose. When you live your life waiting for other people to validate you, you put your power in their hands. You put your confidence, your direction, and your momentum in somebody else's control. That's why so many of you feel stuck, because you're waiting for a round of applause that may never come. You're waiting for somebody to tell you that you're good enough, smart enough, strong enough, strong enough, strong enough. You're waiting for somebody to crown you before you start walking like a king or a queen. But here's the truth. When you approve yourself, when you validate yourself, you unlock something that no outside opinion can touch. That's when you find true freedom, true power, true identity. You can't keep outsourcing your self-worth. You can't keep waiting for other people to co-sign your destiny. Their approval is fragile, temporary, inconsistent. One day they like you, the next day they don't. One day they cheer for you, the next day they disappear. If your confidence is tied to them, then your confidence will rise and fall with their moods. That's why you gotta cut the cord. That's why you gotta stop living for their validation and start living from your own conviction. When you approve yourself, you stop being afraid of rejection. You stop being afraid of criticism. You stop being afraid of standing out because you know who you are. You know what you bring to the table. You know your value, your purpose, your calling. And when you know those things, other people's opinions lose their grip on you. They can doubt you. They can laugh at you. They can criticize you, but they can't control you because you've already given yourself the approval you were waiting for. Self-approval is an arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than everyone else. It's about understanding that you're not defined by their acceptance or rejection. It's about realizing that your worth doesn't shrink when people overlook you. It's about deciding that you don't need permission to walk in your purpose. Too many of you are shrinking yourselves to fit into boxes that people built for you. Too many of you are dimming your light because you're afraid it will make someone else uncomfortable. But when you approve yourself, you stop shrinking. You stop dimming. Stop dimming. You stop apologizing for being who you are. You show up fully, boldly, authentically, and that's when your life starts to expand. Approving yourself means you stop waiting. No more waiting for the right time, the right words, the right audience. No more waiting for somebody to validate your dream. You start now with what you have, where you are, because you understand that the longer you wait, the more your gift goes unused. And you didn't come this far to bury what you were given. You didn't come this far to let fear and hesitation rob you of your potential. When you approve yourself, you stop wasting time. You stop procrastinating. You stop holding back. You start moving, building, creating, executing. And let's be honest, the people you're waiting for approval from, half the time they're struggling with their own insecurities.